That's what you got, 1 minute.
Yeah. So, I guess. I
I
am. Oh,
Well,
I don't. 18 to 16. 16.
You're not German.
I am now.
$5:59.
Yeah. It's easy.
You ready, Steve?
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody, to our May meeting of Town of Ocean Ridge. Kelly, could you call roll, please?
Commissioner Ayala,
Here.
Commissioner Hutchins,
Here.
Commissioner Cassidy, here, Vice Mayor Cos,
Here.
and Mayor Pugh.
Here. We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Space. That nation. Justice.
Good, everyone. So you have the agenda in front of you. Are there any additions, deletions, or modifications?
I would like to make a comment,
Sure. You want to make it a
Commissioner. Yeah,
Okay. Just want to add a announcement. Let's make it 3A. All right, is there a motion?
I make a motion to accept the agenda with the amendment of 3.
second.
Motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. All right, presentation of proclamations. Senator Lori Berman, welcome.
Okay, I went the other way. Sorry. Thank you. I would have thought it was great. Okay, wonderful. Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, everyone here in the audience. For those of you who don't know, I'm Lori Berman. I've been your senator for the last, I think, 8 or 6 years. I've been a senator for 8 years, and we did have redistricting in that time. And I was a representative for 8 years before that, and we were just talking, we do have term limits. So this is it. This is my last presentation, I think, to the city. I will be done in November, and hopefully the legislature will be done with everything. And I will tell you why I say that. So we have one job in the legislature, and that is to pass a balanced budget. And for the second year in a row, we have finished session without a balanced budget. We had a fight about allocations between the House and the Senate. They did finally come to agreement. And next week, we will be meeting to start the budget process. And we're going to be in session from the 12th Tuesday till probably May 28th or so, or 29th. So by the 29th, we should finally have our budget. We should be done with our one constitutional responsibility. As you might have heard, we were up there last week. We did redistricting, and that is done. The bill was given to the governor and he signed it today. So the new districts probably will go into effect for the election. They're only congressional districts, should go into effect for the November election. There has been a court challenge. It's already been filed. So we'll see if that plays out, or if the districts, they would have to stay everything. And I don't know if the court will do that. So we'll see how that plays out. When I do these reports, so in terms of the budget, we're looking to get like $115 billion budget, which is a little bit less than last year, but not a lot. And you do have, the town of Ocean Ridge does have a project in. It's for the water main replacement. You asked for 600,000. The House has put 300 in. They didn't put anything yet in the Senate, but you can be sure I'm gonna go back and fight to at least match the 300 and maybe even try and get you higher. I think the governor vetoed ours project last year, right? So,
Yep.
so if we do succeed, I am counting on all of you to be in touch with the governor so that it's not vetoed again this year. So hopefully we'll be successful. You should know by the end of May if it made it in the budget. We'll probably know by the end of next week if it made it into the final budget. And we can go from there. So I do like to talk to you a little bit about preemption, because Tallahassee seems to love to do that, and that's to take away the powers of the cities and counties and say the state is the only one who can do that. This was a particularly bad year for preemption bills. The League of Cities did a great job. They worked really hard, but they were on the defense the whole time. So much of what they did was mitigation. So for instance, one of the bills was raising the sovereign immunity amounts. So now when you're sued, they can, for an individual, it will be $350,000. And for each incident, it's $500,000. The original numbers were like $1 million per incident. So the league fought to get the numbers better, but you should know that if you are sued, people are probably going to sue you for those higher minimum amounts. And also you're going to, if you have insurance, your insurance rates will probably increase because the amounts that you're going to be on the hook for now have to be higher amounts. Other bills, preemption bills that were done, in the Department of Agriculture bill, they have a provision that you can't regulate gas-powered leaf blowers. They don't want you saying that it has to be electric. So they're not allowing that. There is a question whether you can still have noise regulations, but your attorney will have to kind of look into that. We also spent an inordinate amount of time, unfortunately, on a bill saying that no counties and municipalities can fund, promote, or take official action relating to anything having to do with diversity, equity, and inclusion. It was crazy because if you want to honor Black History Month, technically you wouldn't be able to. So then they made a lot of exceptions in the bill. So if it's a national holiday, yes, you can honor Black History Month and put some of your budget in. So there were certain categories exempted, and we exempted and exempted and exempted. So it's very difficult to figure out how this bill is going to be enforced now. It's going to have a chilling effect. And it allows legal residents to bring legal actions against local government that violate these provisions. So it's really got a big chilling effect. I'm sorry that bill went through, and we spent so much time on basically a cultural war kind of issue when we should be figuring out how to make things more affordable for our citizens. We also did, I don't know, where do you get your water, sewage, and do you get them from outside?
We don't have any sewer. We get
Yeah.
the water from Point Beach, City of Point Beach.
Well, so there was a bill that probably might benefit you. And that says that if you're a municipality that's giving it to another municipality, you will be capped. And you can only charge 25% more than you charge your own residents. So helps you, hurts Point, and potentially along the way. And then there was also a bill that said that you can't have any adopt or implement any policies to achieve net zero greenhouse gases. Another cultural arts bill. So if you enact an ordinance or a rule, it has to be done for a non-environmental reason. Basically, it has to be done for an economic reason as opposed to wanting to do anything that benefits the environment. So and then there were some bills regarding land planning and building permits that also have some very strict, oh, and one other thing that you need. Your website has to have certain requirements now on it. And as part of that same bill about your website having requirements showing different budget rates, you have to do an exercise where you show that your town, what would happen if you decreased your budget by 10%. But you don't have to decrease your budget by 10%. It's just an exercise to show what would happen in that case. So as you can hear, there was quite a lot of preemption done. I would say we spent more time on preemption than a lot of the other things that we should have been spending time on. So I know some of the people asked about the property tax issue. There is discussion about the May 28th week having something about property taxes. Right now, we have had nothing in the Senate. The House passed a bill that was pretty broad reaching, but I don't think that's going to be the ultimate bill. Whatever is done on property taxes has to be a constitutional amendment, has to be on the ballot in November, or if we're going to get it through this year, it will be on the ballot in November. So everyone in the room will vote on the issue of property taxes. We're hearing that what they're talking about is maybe increasing the property tax exemption. Right now, everybody gets a $25,000 exemption. It's a pretty low amount. So we don't know where the sweet spot will be, but it will be much higher, I think, than 25,000. What I ask everyone in the room to do is to talk to your city and find out what the impact will be on whatever number is agreed upon. Does it mean that your police aren't going to show up on time? Right now, the only thing that they're exempting from the property taxes is schools. So schools should not be impacted, but they are not exempting police. They are not exempting fire right now. And so does it mean your parks can't be open as often as they are? Does it mean that your roads won't be paved? So when we do something where we cut property taxes, it's going to have a direct impact on your lives. So pay attention and speak with your legislators and see what the impact will be, because everybody thinks like, oh, how wonderful, we're going to get a property tax cut. But if you get a $30 tax cut and the police don't show up to your house when you call, is that a good trade-off or not? So everybody's going to have to figure that out. There was a question raised also about getting sand for the beaches. We do beach renourishment every year in the budget. We put in usually at least $100,000, but that has to go all over the state. So there are different years, different groups get the beach renourishment money. It might be a squeaky wheel kind of thing. I know Delray Beach is in the middle right now of some beach renourishment. So hopefully you guys can be a squeaky wheel if you think you really need it. I think the county also gets involved in doing, figuring out where the main areas of renourishment need to be. And I do like to end on a little bit more of a happier note. So we do occasionally do some bills that are a little more fun. And unfortunately, one of the most fun bills that we did this year didn't make it through. And that's to have the flamingo as our state bird. So maybe someday we'll get that through. I'm happy it's been my honor and pleasure to represent all of you. I will miss being here and coming to your meetings, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you, Senator Berman. We really appreciate the work on our grant for our water pipes. Really do. And what, you don't like the mockingbird?
I don't like, it's the scrub jay, it is the mockingbird, you're right.
Northern
But
mockingbird.
it's not unique to Florida, although flamingos.
Why did they vote down flamingo? That seems,
There's like a group that wants it to be the mockingbird. I don't know why.
I
Yeah,
believe technically it's the northern mockingbird. That's its full title.
yeah, but we also put in scrub jay.
That's
We
what I
did
call
put.
it.
We did put scrub jay in because that is unique to Florida. So it would be the scrub jay and the flamingo, but they didn't let it go through. I don't know.
I want to say thank you to also to echo what Jeff said about all your work on our allocation request and for the time that you spent with me up in Tallahassee and really
Thank
going
you
to
for
bat. I
coming up.
appreciate it. Also, you mentioned that law enforcement is not exempt.
Right now. And
That's
they
first-
must be. And they're
Okay.
in varying versions of the bill, law enforcement has been.
Okay.
In the one I'm hearing, there isn't right yet. But that's not to say we're happy.
It'll go to the Senate.
It goes to the Senate and the House. We both
the
have
House- the House
to. That one's gone. That one's history. The House version called for all taxes to eventually be eliminated permanently, all taxes. I don't think that's on the table at this point anymore. Yeah.
Well, thank you
Thank you.
very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Detroit. All right, we have a proclamation for the Municipal Clerks Week.
Do. All right, Municipal Clerks Week is May 3rd through the 9th of 2026. Whereas the office of the municipal clerk, a time-honored and vital part of the local government, exists throughout the world, and whereas the office of the municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants, and whereas the office of the municipal clerk provides a professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and the agencies of government at other levels, and whereas municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. Whereas the municipal clerk serves as the information center on the functions of local government and community. Whereas the municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations. Whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the municipal clerk. Now, therefore, I, Jeff Pugh, Mayor of Ocean Ridge, do recognize the week of May 3rd through the 9th, 2026 as Municipal Clerks Week, and I further extend appreciation to our municipal clerks, Kelly Avery and Katrina Pender, and to all municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent.
Our Pond State.
Mayor, if I may, take an opportunity to say thank you to both clerks, but especially, I would love to take a moment and list out all the actual titles, co-titles that they share, but we don't have that kind of time. So thank you for all the work you do, the many hats you both wear. And this town would not run the same without you. So thank you so much. Can't appreciate you anymore. Yes.
Thank you. All right, Kelly, we have another proclamation, National Police Week and Peace Officers Memorial Day Proclamation.
Yes. This is a proclamation for National Police Week of May 11th through 16th, 2026, and National Peace Officers Memorial Day, May 16th, 2026. Whereas there are more than 800,000 law enforcement officers serving in the communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the Ocean Ridge Police Department. Whereas since the first recorded death in 1786, there are currently more than 24,000 law enforcement officers in the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice and been killed in the line of duty. Whereas the names of these dedicated public servants are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C. Whereas the service and sacrifice of all officers killed in the line of duty will be honored during the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund 38th Candlelight Vigil on the evening of May 13th, 2026. Whereas the Candlelight Vigil is part of the National Police Week, which will be observed this year, May 11th through the 16th. Whereas May 15th is designated as Peace Officer Memorial Day in honor of all fallen officers and their families, and the U.S. flag should be flown at half-staff. Therefore, be it resolved that the town of Ocean Ridge will observe May 11th through the 16th, 2026 as National Police Week in Ocean Ridge and publicly salutes the service of law enforcement officers in our community and in communities across the nation.
Chief? Thank you, Chief. All right, now on to the announcements. The first announcement, like you see the balloons here, and the balloons are to signify the Garden Club's 60th anniversary in the town of Ocean Ridge, which is quite a milestone. And We really appreciate everything the garden club does, not just the beauty that you bring to the town, but also the community that you create with inside your organization, where you meet all different people from all different walks of life that come in and move into town and you bring them all together. I think it's great. I also believe that the garden club, if you really look back through all the years, there have been 4 or 5 members of the garden club that have sat on this dais. So they become also leaders of our town as well. So I just want to say congratulations to the garden club. Thank you for everything you've done. Thanks for inviting us to the shindig today. It was very nice. Thank you. All right. Kelly, want to make the other announcements?
Okay. The meeting schedule for the next month is as follows. The regular town commission meeting will be on June 1st at 6 p.m. The code enforcement hearing is tomorrow, May 5th at 10 a.m. The planning and zoning commission meeting will be on Tuesday, May 19th at 9 a.m. and all meetings are held in the commission chambers at Town Hall. Town Hall will be closed on Monday, May 25th in observance of the Memorial Day holiday. And any residents who wish to sign up to receive important town notifications and news through Civic Ready should sign up on the town's website or call Town Hall for assistance.
All right. Public comment. Betty, you first.
The Coastal Star gave me a wonderful thing when I read it. I want this posted. This shows how much land Manalapan has gotten and how much we've lost. And if they widen that in the waterway so big boats can go through, it will only exasperate and make our beach go away even faster. And I think we need some way to make them start really pumping the sand that they were supposed to pump with our aggressive. I'm going to give this some.
Thank you, Betty.
You're welcome.
I knew it had to come up sooner or later. I knew you'd come up here and say
Yeah.
something.
Actually, I'm on a different subject. I know it sounds like a broken record talking about the dune, but I'm going to talk about it again. And we'll talk about that terrible hearing that happened last month in the magistrate. But first, I wanted to be sure that someone was aware that when you issue a permit for planting on the dune, that it must be native dune plants, not non-native. Someone's trying to plant small leaf calusa there, and that's not native. And if you want literature on why it's not native, I can give it to you. But, you know, there's some great places where people have put sea grape. The Kosinskis put silver buttonwood, which looks great. So anything native that fits on the dune that's coastal that will stay is what should be in the permit. Like someone pointed out, they ought to list the plants they're going to put in. And I've referred some folks to 3 different native plant nurseries that could help them out with that when they get that far along. But getting back to the hearing, without offending anyone, just to start out by saying that Christie and the police officer, Pylon, and the clerk's office did an enormous amount of work bringing that. I'm still in shock to even think about Porter Street with what happened there. And they did an enormous amount of work bringing the literature, the background, everything. And you can look at on the video and listen to it. It took that magistrate an hour and a half to make a terrible decision, in my opinion. I know you're not supposed to, once a decision is made, you can't do much about it. But she handled it very poorly. She did not find the significance of what happened. The destruction of those plants, destruction of the trees. Now they'll grow back. In 30 years, you'll be dead and I'll be dead and my ashes will be in the ocean. But really, she allowed the attorney representing the condo to make these sort of silly arguments over and over again. She didn't stop them. She kept allowing them to talk. I mean, just wore her out. And then she allowed people from the condo, a unit owner, which is not the representative of the condo, it's a corporation and they have a president who was there. Oh, I assume he was the president. And they just misrepresented everything. They claimed that they owned the pathway at one time. They never owned it. It's always been a road right of way since 1902. You did
I did the history on it.
a title search. And the developer of our neighborhood where we live, a guy by the name of Dinerstein, worked with the town to get the concrete pathway in there. It used to be dirt, but that was like at least 60, 70 years ago. So they claim that they owned it and they gave it to the town. This is in the tape. It's on the record. They claim they took care of the dune area that they chopped down. Well, they never did anything. There's all kinds of non-native Hawaiian scalabula growing on that dune that they don't take out. It was just misrepresent. I don't like to use the word lie, but it was total misrepresentation about what happened on that property. By the way, the wall that they have is on the property line. But before that, the coconut palms that were donated to us by the city of Boynton Beach were on the property line because it screened the restaurant that was there. The great restaurant, by the way, Bush's Seafood Restaurant. They came to the town and said, we want to put our wall on the line. I always talk about property line with what's there. My fence is on the line and no one's going to move it off without some kind of compensation. So they asked, could they put their wall on the line? The town said, yeah, if you move the coconut palms. So they did pay a landscaper to move the coconut palms over onto the pathway and then put their wall on the property line. And the property line aligns directly with where they cut down. I mean, it's visible. And part of the deal was that they were supposed to paint, repair, and take care of the wall, which they don't do. So that's a citation. Anyway, I'm sort of worn out now, but if anyone has any questions about any of this information, I'll be happy to give it to you.
Well,
Thank you.
Lucy's giving you the bell. I mean,
Huh?
Lucy's giving you the buzzer.
Oh, yeah. Well, when we were almost 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's all right.
That was good. Thanks.
Thank you, Terry. Anyone else for public comment? Yes, sir.
Hello, everyone. Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, town staff. Matt Franzelia, live in Ocean View Drive. The topic that I have is, I guess, kind of popular with the speeding that's been kind of going around the town. We live in between Ocean View Drive and Douglas Drive, obviously. It's a small one-way area. And in the last couple of years, with the increase of delivery drivers and DoorDash and Instacart and Uber and Lyft, it's created a lot of unfamiliar drivers into our area. And we only have one speed limit sign as you're coming in off of A1A. And that's the only one. And if you miss that, along with the one way, then you're kind of out of luck. Before I came here, I did send a letter to all the homeowners in the neighborhood asking if they would be interested in some sort of traffic calming measurements. And as of today, I've received 15 responses and all of them have all said yes, they were very interested in having some sort of traffic calming measure. And I know that Vice Mayor Cos and I have spoken briefly about it. And so I come to you and ask for some sort of traffic safety review if we could. I know that we had discussed something about the difference between the speed bumps and the speed hump and the traffic cushion. And maybe we could put something into place with that. Around the curves themselves are really the most dangerous. 3 of the 4 curves, it's really kind of a blind curve that you're going around. And my wife and I have both kind of experienced, when we're walking our dogs, people kind of coming around that corner, looking at their phone, trying to figure where their next delivery is. It's just, it's a high risk area and it's just, I think, a matter of time before something there happens. So I'd like to see if maybe we could implement something or put something together. I know on Hersey Drive, they were kind of concerned about that as well, which was our former residents, but now where we are, I'd like to see if maybe the town could put something together for us with the speeding that kind of goes on there. We used to have a little more police presence. This isn't on you, but throughout the years, without that, and maybe if we could get a few of the speed limit signs. I noticed a lot of the nice looking signs there on Old Ocean, beautiful with the town logo on them and everything like that. If we could maybe get one or two of those, at least in the neighborhood, that let people know as soon as they come in that this is a quiet residential neighborhood, and we'd like to kind of keep it that way because we don't have sidewalks if you're unfamiliar with the area. So we're kind of all sharing the street and the side of the road with the traffic that's going by there. And FedEx and UPS, who are here on a regular basis, are kind of guilty of that speeding sometimes too, which has gotten kind of noticeable. And that's really it that I have there. The only other, I guess it's a question. I know that there's been, I don't know, over the last 6 months, year or so, a lot of signs going up, signs going down. Some are official, some are not official. I just have a question about this sign here that says private beach. No trespassing, please. Public beach access 100 feet to the south, 150 feet to the south. That access is the ones that we use for Ocean View Drive and Douglas Drive, but that is not a public beach as far as I understand, correct?
Public beach, the whole beach is public, matters.
Well,
But you're talking about the access to the
Right.
beach? Yeah, there are private accesses, but there are public access.
okay, so I'm not sure if this is an accurate sign to send everyone down. Not that we have that much problem with it, but I think it just doesn't look like an official town sign that seems someone,
That's a trouble.
that's a what?
That's
That's,
a
yeah, that's across from number 5006.
That's sad.
Big house on the corner, Zank, Elliot Zank.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I wasn't sure
And
who
you
it
guys
was.
are using the garden club app.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where he's directing everyone, and I just wasn't sure if that's really the,
Well, to get back to your original question, Chief, you want to look into the signs and we've done speed humps and bumps and all kinds of stuff. in the past.
yeah, I mean, I'm,
Portable speed trailer, we can deploy if you have give us account. The vehicle and their speed. Stay there.
does,
That might be a little hard on Ocean View and Doug.
Well, they got an open lot though.
Unless you.
we do, right across
Yeah,
from my
that-
house.
That-
Who owns the lot?
The one across from Josh.
It was the neighbor who, the gentleman that passed away that had, the Canadian gentleman that had the house right there on the beach, the white 2-story condo.
Okay, we just have to get in.
His son, I think, has it now, and I just met him briefly in passing, and he said he sold it to a developer or a builder, the lot. And they're trying to, do something with
Do their
that.
thing.
Yeah, it's 2 lots now. Originally, it was just
So the
one.
lot is right onto the street. It's, if you go Ocean View, it's basically the third in
Right.
from,
Right across from 27, my neighbor Leah. It's right across.
Either way, the town can't put anything on somebody's property without their permission. So
Right.
Chief, would you look at that?
I'll find a place and try to do that study for you.
Do you know, is it 10, is it the speed limit 10 there? I mean, do we know?
Aren't roads that are not a state road, are
Right.
actually 5. And if it's it is a problem, we can bring it down to 20.
Oh, okay. Okay, because I know when you drive, just the speedometer in the car, it sometimes gives you the speed limit sign on there, and mine says 10. So I wasn't sure, because then I drove around and I've noticed a few. Some speed limits here say 10, some say 13, some say 20. So,
13 on your phone when you're.
no,
on all those?
that one
No.
doesn't say, it
That's-
doesn't,
that's-
it doesn't come up that way. Right, that's nice, but so I wasn't sure exactly what it's supposed to be there, if it's supposed to be 10 or, 20 seems a bit excessive to go through that. I mean, it's designed like an oval, but I don't think you can do that. I mean, I don't have the room, but you could probably find a spot either in Pam right across the street. She always lets people park there, or however we could do it. If there's anything I can do, I'm happy to help out right across the street.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
The delivery drivers are a problem everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
They fly down our street.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You get it.
Yep. Yeah.
Thank you.
thank you.
Any other public comment?
Good evening, Virginia Siggety, 33 Exora Way. I want to say thank you, first of all, for your kind words about our 60th anniversary of the Garden Club. And to those of you who were able to make it to lunch today, we were so thrilled to have you there. I just wanted to add to Terry's comments. If you need a brochure about what are native plants for your dune, we got it. And we'd be happy to share it. So yes, exactly. So just wanted to throw that little tidbit in there. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? All right, close the public comment. Back to the commission. Approval of consent agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. All right, we're moving on to the regular agenda items pending State House Bill 1451 discussion. Michelle?
Mr. Mayor, I will remind the commission that we spoke at length about this item during our workshop this afternoon, and I'll go ahead and read the same summary for Florida House Bill 1451. It plans to strengthen state oversight of municipal utilities that serve customers outside their boundaries. So this really serves to create more methodologies for the city of Boynton Beach, and we get an opportunity to benefit from it. It requires an additional public meeting in affected areas, mandates annual reporting to the Public Service Commission, and places new limits and state preemption on how these systems are governed and expanded. The overall impact is increased transparency and state involvement, with potential operational and financial implications for municipalities providing extraterritorial utility services. During that conversation, we talked about the fact that they may need to come here to do their public hearings in the future, should they want to increase or change any of the rates for the city of Boynton as they affect our residents. And that would be good news. And you heard Senator Berman say that the new ruling would also cap them out at 25% maximum. So during that conversation, I reminded the commission that we have water service from the city of Boynton. There's also always a potential to get water service from the town of Manalapan, because they also provide that. So there may be an opportunity for competitive conversations. And additionally, you know, those pipes have been here a long time, and they've been the towns as seen as an asset. And as we have discussed during our one-on-ones and briefly this afternoon, they're not always seen as an asset in our minds as we are writing these checks. And so I leave the rest of the discussion up to you.
All right, I believe that we were discussing that you're going to look into the different areas of selling or keeping and what the ramifications of that would be.
Yes, sir. In the past, the town has employed a consultant. And if you would like, I can reach back out to that consultant and see where we left off. That information may be a springboard for new conversations to occur with the city of Boynton Beach. The other part of this that's interesting is the city of Boynton Beach is looking to sell their utility to Palm Beach County. And so maybe an opportunity for consolidation throughout.
So
So
all those
timing is everything, right?
and all those things we're looking into, we're also looking into the fact that if the legislature does something with your property taxes, the amount of money we've been spending on fixing the water lines would be directly affect our bottom line. So it might be advantageous us to at least have a plan of action, or at least choices we could make if something else comes down the line.
Could you also do one bit of math on that? So the max, let's say it's Boynton takes over the pipes, it's providing us with water. The max they can raise us is 25%. Meanwhile, we're spending $1.4 million on the stretch of pipe currently.
We'll be spending $4 million.
Fourth, okay, well, we're taking.
I think it's 4.1, so you had it.
So, in other words, if Boynton can only go 25%, I would just like to know what monies that would equal each year versus what we're spending.
The 25%,
Was a cap.
no, but that applies, whether they take over our pipes or not. Right? If they're providing
Yeah.
us with water,
Right.
all they can do is charge 25% more than what they charge their own
Right.
residents.
So I'm trying to get.
How much more are they charging us right now? Than their
That's-
residents?
Same.
No.
They just charge us the same, so they potentially.
They have the
bump it
ability
up.
to.
Right, but I'm
Christie has
looking at if Boyne takes over our pipes, they're not gonna want to do it for free. So they're gonna raise it. Now it's 25%, make that whole over 3 or 4 years,
No, they would,
right? So
it would.
Well, if the
be
county,
quite
the
a
county
gap
took
if-
over our pipes or took over Boynton. And the concern we had years ago was that if Boynton took over our pipes, we'd become Boynton Beach somehow. I mean, that was the thinking years and years ago. However, if the county bought out Boynton, then the county would own the piping, which I would think actually would be a benefit to us because the county wouldn't be coming after the town of Ocean Ridge. However, the town attorney has been looking at me with something to say, so what do you have to say here?
So the current agreement with Boynton, they don't charge a surcharge to the town. They charge the same rates. So they are not able to charge a surcharge under this legislation. But what they can do is they can increase the amount you charge going forward to an outside entity up to 25%. So in the future, if they raise their rates for service for their residents, then if they can establish grounds for it, they can increase the rate charged to the town of Ocean Ridge up to 25%. There's no more surcharge going forward with this legislation unless it was in place. And it's not in place because part of our deal is they don't charge the surcharge and we don't tax them for the sale of water within the town. So that's a wash. Part of the reason it was my policy committee this year, the League of Cities was in favor of this 25% surcharge because in most cases, unlike ours, the cities are charging the surcharge to unincorporated areas or other areas where they either put the infrastructure in, they own it. So that's why it was supported overall.
So it was fair for them to recoup the cost.
Right.
But they didn't do that here, so.
Right.
yeah.
Public comment?
Bill Bessler, 5906 Old Ocean. I thought, we figured when I was on the commission that we were actually paying for the pipes and then also paying for the pipes again to Boynton because their fee to their residents included the pipes besides the water. So we were double pay, but I guess if it was traded off on not having to pay a surcharge or increase. Did that ever get proven out?
We've already,
I was told to keep it quiet because we were like, not saying in public and maybe I should have kept it quiet, but.
the town's always had owned the piping infrastructure.
Right, but what I'm saying is they're charging you what they charge their residents. And when they charge their residents for water, they're charging the infrastructure and the water.
So you're saying that
Yeah,
they've
but
got an
also-
embedded surcharge already? Even
Correct.
though we think we're not.
But they're also charging their residents for sewer as well. So what happens is with the town of Ocean Ridge, I mean, let's face it, town of Ocean Ridge, our water rate is low. I mean, not low as if we had sewer, but I mean, it is. We all get our water bills and you can see what your water bill is and it's, in my opinion, it's not egregious whatsoever. But what's getting egregious is the amount of money we're spending on fixing all these lines.
That's the.
Remember, there's 77,000 linear feet of piping in the town of Ocean Ridge, water piping. That's a lot of pipe to fix. So just saying, when we're looking all these balls in the air with the legislature, we've got to figure something out and how at least have our choices or plan of action, have a way of doing something and going another direction if we have to.
Okay, just want to let you guys know that.
Tim, you have something?
Tim Cassidy, 7 Hudson. So 10 years ago, I was mayor of the village of Pelham, and we went through almost the exact same situation. Actually, not exact same, but we decided that it's kind of the control of having the pipes, having the system versus the liability that you're wearing down the road, that you're just starting to see. And so we kind of went through that math, and I think that's what you guys have to do is value what the system you have, but really it's also this liability that you have, which you guys are just starting to now this $4 million you spent is now going towards, that's not gonna change. You're still gonna have these expenses popping up. So it's something a business, it's not the business that you're in, and that's also we determined. We had a water company at that point that had a, you know, a surplus that we could use for damage, and we could, you know, billing people, and we realized that's not our job. But we're better at doing other things. So if there's some way to get out of that business, and one, the getting rid of the, you know, selling the pipes you have versus the liability you have going forward, you're probably much better. in my opinion.
Thank you. Yep. Yeah, there was even a proposal when we did that study, Christina, that we did, we were gonna lease the pumps to a company. But the amount of money they'd asked for, they wanted was outrageous.
Well,
Any other public comment before we move on? All right, back to the commission. So there's
So we're
consensus.
gonna study, I mean,
There's
we
consensus.
directed you to
Yeah.
study what our options are.
Yeah, and talking to Penelope too, because we talked about that as well. Should be negotiating with them at the same time that you're negotiating with Boynton, or, you know, continuing with Boynton, and we wanted that redundancy is coming.
Okay.
If I may just take an opportunity to thank Mr. Cassidy. I had a chance to speak with him and try and get an understanding of what success looks like, if you will. And your thought on direction this afternoon was included potentially reaching out to the consultants that we previously employed. So you're okay with that?
I mean, I don't have anything against the consultant use, but I'd like us to reach out to the best consultant. So if that happens to be that person, great. If not, I'd like to understand what the options are.
Okay, and I will take that information and also reach out then to see how see if Boynton Beach and also Palm Beach County like the consultants that they're working with right now for their potential merger.
Great idea.
Okay, I'll bring the information back in another probably workshop.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Sir. Thank you.
All right, moving on to section of committee chair and 2 committee members for audit RFQ. Michelle?
So Mayor, this is for the audit RFQ that we have not written yet. We've got a draft ready to go, but the first opportunity for us is to consider what the committee will look like. And so state statute defines the committee as looking at a minimum of 1 commissioner who operates as the chair of that committee, and at least 2 committee members, typically residents of your community. They don't have to have financial background, but it would be your selection. The idea that there are no staff members that are on the committee, and that makes sense because this particular RFP is going to hire a firm that will basically be auditing the work of your staff. And so we want to make sure that it is very objective.
Well, Ainer,
Nina.
you want to be the chair?
I can't believe I'm throwing my hat in the ring with this, but I mean, I was part for 4 years at Deloitte, gone through audit selection processes. I'd be willing to do that if you could.
Yep.
I think it'd be an excellent choice. What about the other members, 2 committee members?
So names that were thrown out there, if you will, during one-on-ones, and you all can now have a conversation about is Tim Cassidy and Mark Galliot. Did I say that correctly? Galliot.
If they agreed to do this or just using their names.
And their names in vain. I believe one, Mr. Cassidy I believe he and I spoke and he's going to serve. I have not spoken to Mr. Galliot and was hoping one of you did.
I have not.
Or Carolyn.
Well, we answer first, or we?
So we better, yeah.
Well, why don't we just approve both?
Yeah, let's just-
Michelle go talk to the couple.
And one as an alternate.
Yeah.
You good to go for that?
So Tim Cassidy and Big Elliott.
For the motion, look to the attorney.
Mr. Mayor, one other thing, what a lot of other cities do with this type of selection committee is you can also invite a finance director from another city who may have a lot of experience with the different auditors. and auditing firms. And that can be really valuable information to have someone like that also serving. So 3 is the minimum for this type of committee. But if you're wondering about more participation, you could also pull in from other cities.
You want to look into that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That could be
So we need a motion for the 2 members or?
And the chair.
If it's unanimous consensus, that's fine.
Unanimous?
Consensus.
Okay. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Tim.
Very good, thank you.
All right, let's move on to the appointment of planning and zoning board members.
Kelly's gonna take that.
Ellie?
All right,
You lead.
so as you're aware, we have 3 regular members that are, their terms are up, and they have all 3 said that they were willing to be reappointed. We did have a new applicant, Nicholas Boyd, who said he'd be willing to serve as well. So we could either have a motion to have whoever you like, or I do have the ballots. So.
Okay, so we have basically the 3 regular planning and zoning spots. We have the 3 regular guys who are on there, both want to continue to serve. Well, in continuity, in my opinion, it'd be the way to go.
I know Nick Boyd's a friend of ours. I spoke to him at the dedication the other day. He has a home in Vermont, so he's gone all summer. So he understands that that's, the attendance requirement. So
Okay.
keep in mind to other
Board of
things.
Adjustment.
Well, do that one next. So do we need motion?
We just consent on all this? Unanimous?
I think for this one, we do have to have a motion.
Move that we continue the incumbents that, just
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. All right, moving on to the Board of Adjustment, 2 regular members for each 3-year term and 1 alternate member for 3-year term. So 2 of the regular members, Betty and Victor, are willing to be reappointed, and the new applicant, Nick Boyd, would be the alternate.
Yep.
And he's the only one that applied?
He's the only one that applied.
Wow. Guess everybody's doing a good enough job, and they apply it. All right. Somebody make a motion? Well, here, one quick question on that. What about Zoom? Can they Zoom the meetings, Christie, for the Board of Adjustment?
The Board of Adjustment, their primary role is a quasi judicial hearing. So normally we don't recommend doing that by Zoom. We usually, if there's a need for it, we would ask the applicant, and if the applicant consents, then it would be okay, because those decisions can be challenged to, circuit court, and we don't want to create an appellate issue if we don't have to. So we would get the applicant's consent, and then the board can do it. Same thing for planning and zoning. Sometimes they have a quasi judicial hearing. Development plan review is quasi judicial. So if they wanted to move in that direction, we could do it, but we would need the applicant's consent.
Well, here's my trepidation with Nick, saying what you just said. If he's gone all summer long, and you're the alternate, the whole purpose of being an alternate is to fill in when somebody else is gone. You're gone for the whole summer, how can you be the alternate?
How often is the Board of Adjustment meet up?
They didn't meet all year, last year.
Right.
So it's up to the commission.
Has that,
it seems to me that this thing about Zoom, can we check and see what the analysis on if that's moved in terms of other towns? Because in this day and age, a lot of business, a lot of court trials have participated. And I just, with the dearth of people that are raising their hand to be on these committees, making it so they have to be here in person is a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, certainly other cities, like for instance, like Worth Beach, their planning and zoning and their historic preservation boards are done through Zoom. They decided to make the business decision to move forward with that. But they still have in-person meetings from time to time. And I think that's due to an applicant wanting to appear in person. And so meetings where planning and zoning's meeting and it's not anything quasi judicial that's on their agenda, which might be a little bit unusual here, certainly do it by Zoom. It hasn't been tested at the appellate level yet, whether or not that's a valid argument towards due process. You didn't have an opportunity to really present or cross-examine witnesses. So that's still an issue that's out there. So to be conservative about that, we do recommend getting consent from the applicant. And if the applicant consents, then sure, do it via Zoom or whatever format. But the thing is too, with the sunshine law requirements, you have to make sure that your Zoom or however you're doing that kind of formatted meeting, that everybody can hear it, everybody can participate, and you don't have any technology glitches.
Okay. Motion.
So on the alternate, why don't we, whenever we make this motion, is he willing to fly in once every 2 years if necessary?
Did anyone? No.
Well, I
It's not
talked
really-
to him. He said if it has to, he
Yeah.
would not. Or fine.
Flying in, yeah, so I make a motion to reappoint Betty Bingham and Victor Martell to the Board of Adjustments and to appoint Nicholas Boyd as a alternate member of the Board of Adjustments.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. All righty. Town manager update.
Updates.
Thank you. Christie?
No update.
No update either. Chief?
Or Phillips in your packet. I just will point out that we are enforcing traffic laws. I mean, it's up for us.
433 cars in March.
289 citations, 277.
Yeah, the night is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Chief. Thanks, Carolyn.
Yeah, I was approached by a resident, about an incident last fall. Multifamily property on Tropical Drive, they were replacing their, septic. They hired, who did they hire? Speedy Rooter. And Speedy Rooter helped them get their permitting through the Board of Health, assured them they had everything in place, and they went ahead and did the work. Manny showed up one day and they didn't have town permit, which they didn't know they needed. So they were fined. The company said, well, not yet, they weren't fined. Speedy Rooter said they'd go to Ocean Ridge. They came to Ocean Ridge to apply for a permit, but they never paid for it and they never told the owner. So now, fast forward, Speedy Rooter gets fined. They're trying to, I guess, I don't know who would have been fined, Speedy Rooter or the owner, but $3,000.
Carolyn, I'm sorry, do you mean originally when they were supposed to, they filed for a permit, they just never paid for
They
it?
never paid for it. They never, so it was
But,
never.
but not
issued.
later, it was at the time they were supposed to, they did it,
Yes,
they just
when
never.
Manny
never paid
showed
for
up and told them they needed it. Yeah. So Speedy Rooter got the bill for $3,000. And so this resident asked, reached out to Michelle, and Michelle reached out to Christie, said, unfortunately, there's not any way to waive a fine like that. To change it, the commission would need to adopt a new ordinance that repeals or revises the ordinance. But Christie's saying that's kind of a can of worms because it,
I'm sorry, I thought Speedy Rooter was the one that was supposed to pay the fine.
but they're trying to get,
Why wouldn't we have Speedy Rooter pay the fine? If they're gonna do business in our town, they should know and follow the rules. shouldn't they?
Kelly?
I'm not sure which property this is, but
21.
sure about this one, but yeah, they are required to get the DEP, or not, sorry, Health Department approval and then submit that along with it. So basically, when they do the work and they get caught with it, it's work without permit. And technically, if they submitted the application, that doesn't mean they have an issued permit. So they did the work. They still haven't paid for it, which means they still don't have an issued permit. So they still considered work without a permit.
If they had paid the permit properly, how much money would that?
Well, at the time if they got caught working without a permit, then that's what it is. That's the fine. According to the code, it's 4 times the amount.
That's where the
When you answered
3,000
Amy's question, you said that they did go.
But it was after they got caught.
No, they went to permit
after they got caught.
After they got caught.
Yeah.
After they had already.
What happens?
And they never paid it?
I assume so. Yeah, I'd have to look into this one, but I
So
don't.
wait, no, you know what? They did apply for the Ocean Ridge permit in a timely manner, but they just never paid for it. And they never.
That's why.
told
That's
the
still
homeowner
technically-
Kind of like
about it.
not doing it.
So
It's not
I think it
necessarily,
was still after they began.
yeah,
They had the visit from Manny, who was operating as the code enforcement
at that time.
inspector at that time. And
So shut them down and then they came to get.
they came to get a permit, they applied, but they didn't pay.
I mean, if this was like a good faith situation, where everybody was doing everything in good faith and something got screwed up, it doesn't sound like any good. At all. They didn't.
I think the homeowner was caught unaware, didn't know that they were told by the vendor that everything was taken care of and believed them.
Kelly.
And we run into this a lot. A lot of the contractors don't follow what they're supposed to do. A lot of them don't get registered, so they don't realize that they have to do this. So a lot of homeowners
But
then
the
get angry with
contractor is the one
us. And it's a contractor. I believe the contractor should have to pay for it, but they try to get the money from the homeowners.
Right.
And I think personally, I think that's wrong. I think that if they made a mistake, they should take the
Currently,
hit.
the homeowner has a working seven.
So the homeowner is saying they're concerned that they're gonna have to pay it.
Yes.
Okay, so let's regroup here. So what happens is though, there's an open permit now on that property. See, that's what happens. So down the road, when something comes up, if they want to sell the property, that's gonna come up. And it could
Not
be
up their title.
2 years, 5 years, whatever, but that permit's still on there and the homeowner will have to pay that, to final it out in order to remove that lien from their property. So I would suggest that they go after the company and I would call the Department of Business and Professional Regulation. This is the first place I would call. And tell them that, lodge a complaint. And the state, that's a state agency, and they will come at you with guns blazing. That's my advice. Tim, you want to?
So if they apply for a permit, or they apply, when they submit plans, do we tell them, these are the 5 things you have to do to proceed? So like, I would think that would be like, it's, you have to get a state permit, you have to get this, you have to get that, you have to get that, you have to get that, and then you can go forward.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
there are
any,
checklists online.
any contractor who is in that business is licensed to be in that business. And that's
Yep.
unfortunately, the homeowner has incumbent upon the homeowner to actually look and make sure that person's licensed to do that type of work. They know they have to go to the Department of Health. You have to.
Right.
And then when it's all over, the Department of Health comes out, you get a ticket because you have to make sure that the
So there's
elevation.
process. It's not like they're just like, they didn't know about it.
You know, before you even show up to that house, what you have to do.
Septic stuff is pretty
I mean,
rigid, yeah.
especially in Ocean. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. It's-
Just have to make Stella Cole 204 Beachway, have to make a funny joke. You go for a permit for a driver's license, do you not have to pay? Before you get that permit? So there's no excuse for this person. They apply for a permit in our town, they pay for the permit, and then they proceed.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate for the homeowners who have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just had a bad
But
conduct.
this, they
Has
have.
everybody on the comment on the septic permit?
What you do
I mean,
about people that never draw a permit, go and break every rule in town, and no one does anything.
well, that's why we increased the
Is there,
permit.
is there property, if it's sold, you just can't bulldoze the whole thing and start over? I'm being facetious.
No.
Thank you, Betty. All right.
So what do we
well,
do with contractors like that, though? Do we keep a list? Like some,
It's on their record. Like if you pull up that contractor, it'll show you how many have done work without permits and all that other things. So
Oh, but see, we used to have registration, not registration, you had to get a sticker. And they had to prove they had insurance, but the state kibosh on
we still register them. We just don't charge them. We don't get stickers.
it. Right.
But it's kind of buyers beware.
Guys, it's not-
Especially with the name Speedy Rooter.
All right. Okay, everybody remembering the Speedy Rooter?
My company had Rooter in the name, but it wasn't Speedy.
I know we're getting filmed here. Wait, is there anything else? All right, everybody, thank you for coming and have a great month. See you next month. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.